First of all, I want to tell you something about longings and strivings. My longings and strivings. A few years ago, Allard invited me and some other colleagues to the kernel group. Big honor and big challenge. But the biggest challenge for me at that time was the spoken language was English. So I developed a strong longing and striving to learn English. In school, I didn't like it for some reasons. And afterwards, I've tried to avoid it, in this case, successful. Now, time changes and I started to learn. The problem that popped up was that I've had also other strong longings and strivings to deal with all that inactive stuff, to exercise and work with that stuff with my patients. The whole office work, family, friends, daily tasks, and let me say my dogs. And the problem was a day has only 24 hours. Here I am, my power of action increased. I give a seminar in English language. And it is far away from being perfect. Therefore, please be generous with all my mistakes and help me if I need your help. And now, welcome to you all. I'm happy to see you and let's start. The title of the seminar is The Therapeutic Relationship in the Inactive Trauma Therapy. Let's start by developing the importance of the therapeutic relationship or meeting. Therapeutic outcome studies, for example, by Grave 2004, show that the therapeutic alliance is the most important factor for therapeutic success. Grave and others found that about 30% of the success of therapy can be attributed to relationship variables, and only about 15% to the respective technique. That is not too much. The therapeutic relationship or meeting or helping alliance should be in any therapy an art of encounter. Therapists like Allard, Frederick Kenfer, Milton Erickson, Brian Allman, Bernhard Tränkle, and other ones could be called artists in such a sense. As Thomas Fuchs says, we know today that much more is happening underneath, so to speak, in our embodied interaction, in the mood, in the atmosphere that is created during the meeting. We should much more pay attention to this pre-reflective, implicit, or also non-verbal level of interaction. As inactive trauma therapists, we have, like any living being, to identify what is useful, useless, harmful for ourselves and also with regard to our interventions. We are embedded in an Umwelt. We are embodied. We have an extended mind, and we enact, bring forth. We make sense all the time. In the enactive trauma therapy, we as therapists have to deal with a lack of integration, with avoidance, and also with dissociation. Usually there are low or low to middle action tendencies. There is a lack of synthesis, personification, presentification, and realism. I don't get it. How can you help me? Realization, you know it. There are different dissociative agents with their prototypical characteristics. There are phobias among the dissociative agents and also phobias of change. We have the person perspectives from 0, nothing is there, to 3rd, that voice, that thing, I don't want to have it. The 2nd person perspective, you are here, I don't know, what do you want? Can you tell me? To quasi 2nd person perspective, perhaps it is also my thing, my history, my experience. And 1st person perspective, if we do great work and the patient with us, I am all that what happened. It's my experience, it's me. And as all living beings strive to sustain themselves, especially in the trauma field, we meet people who have experienced a whole lot of hard things in their lives and have tried to cope with it. When patients come to therapy, it is because they have given up hope of dealing with their symptoms of their own. They want to get rid of them, and we as therapists are supposed to help. In order to do that, we as therapists know that the patient have to increase their power of action, distinguish useful from useless, avoid harmful actions. They have to use appropriate action tendencies for this. We know that from Janet. It would be very useful in the therapeutic encounter if we could look at the symptoms of the patients as actions designed to cope with the which are partly too fixed and no longer appropriate. Everything we do should help to bring forth as many new useful actions as possible. Therefore, therapists should have a greater power of action than patients. They should have more dynamism, that is, the ability to adapt to the different demands in life. They should be flexible, resonate and amplify like an instrument, and adaptively tune in. Therapy takes place in the here and now, in the present moment. Pick up what is before the senses. Perhaps we go afterwards to this. What does this mean? It needs a consensual domain or phenomenal word, hard word. A common ground within which a common meaning or sense making can be produced. Thus, pacing also means creating a consensual domain. And now, how can we be useful? First of all, we don't want nothing. That we have often discussed. That's not an easy thing, isn't it? We as therapists also long for a whole lot. Why meat? It increases the patient's power of action, and we are more with the patients than a better knowing therapist. And now let's go to the dissociative agents. Yes. Imagine there's a patient, you know it very well that there are dissociative agents. You have to do a great assessment, and it's getting clear that there are some parts. And there's the ANP. The ignoring ANP is very adaptive in our therapy, but a little bit stubborn. He doesn't understand what we want of him or her. He stays or she stays on the surface all the time. She's busy with daily tasks and trouble with friends, with work, with colleagues, with children. They have trouble to go to the doctor. They have trouble to go outside or something like that. They have trouble to eat and so on. And I want to get rid of all the symptoms, and then the life will be fine. And imagine also, in former times, nearly every day things happened. Hard, terrible things. With parents and or relevant others. But you have to live your normal life, including eating, drinking, sleeping, meeting friends, attaching, go to school, and so on. What should you do with that? And now she is in our therapy. Perhaps there is noise or voices in her head. Feelings that don't belong to her. She thinks pain or no feeling, nobody. There's loss of time, and you don't know what meanwhile happened. You are at a place in the nowhere, and you don't know how you got there. Imagine that. Other ones talk to her, and don't know what they talk about. How can we deal with that? And then change to a little one, very afraid, wants to have trust, with a little voice. Can you play with me? Can you help me? I want to go with you. Is that possible? Or she wants to fight, is in an arousal. Or is playing death. No arousal at all. Can nothing say. Rarely a possibility to communicate. A very low level of action tendencies. And then imagine the ignored little one in former times from parents and relevant others, and today from the A&P and other ones. No one has helped. She has pain, fear, anger, is too small to do anything and totally alone. How to deal with that? How take care? And how can we draw and set boundaries? We are human beings, we want to help, do we? And then, how? There's coming a very autonomous person, shows herself strong. What do you say? You are weak. You are talking all the time. Talking is weak. You don't know anything. You have to shut up. Before you come in, everything is working. Now, nothing works. You don't know anything how dangerous the world is. And imagine, what is it like to live in a dangerous world? To have no power, no control. We all want to be autonomous. We all want to have also power. And in this case, where did they get their models? They get it from the perpetrators, do they? What is our posture to that? What is our attitude to that? What is it if we as therapists think of them as loyal to the perpetrators? What is our feeling then? And how can we help to make them curious and help them explore instead of defend themselves? There is a patient and there is a therapist. They are in very different worlds. They have no consensual domain, no common ground. And we as the therapist, we have more power of action, more dynamism, we are more flexible. We can step in the world of the patients. We, in our first-person perspective and our quasi-second-person perspective, we can do it with our empathy. We can attune sensory motor, affective, cognitive, behavioral in our behaviors. And then we want to get consent. We are going to them. Yes, it's a hard word, isn't it? Yes, so hard, really hard. And as we have this, we can go a little step to curiosity or something like that. We have the ability to build a consensual domain. And then, how much more difficult is it if there are different dissociative agents? We have at the same time, at the same moment, to deal, in this case, with 3 of them. We have empathize with all of them. Attune in their world, step in their world. You build a consensus domain and we help them to go a little step forward. You know that metaphor from Elliot? We are going to Paris or to Rome and we start with little steps. And how to do that? That's now our question together. How can we get a common word? How can we attune? How can we come to a common sense? Mentimeter doesn't work. It works, but I didn't work with it. Therefore, I ask you to be very active and to talk. And would it be nice if at the end of our encounter you have 2 or 3 possibilities to attune? Perhaps new possibilities you know a lot of. Perhaps we find together some new one. And as I do that, what did I do? Would it be nice for you? Yes, that would be nice. It's a suggestion, isn't it? We all want to get better, do we? Yes. And now here we are and want to get better. Isn't that a tautology? Do you have some other things, means?
I would like to say something about what Thomas Fuchs said in the quotation that you gave us.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, he said something like, we have to attune to the pre-reflective.
Yes.
in order to meet.
Yes.
And I think that that is a very important thing indeed when we try to meet somebody, because I think we tend to think so much. We go to reflection, and many times we expect our patients to meet us on the reflective level.
Yes. Yes.
But how to overcome that?
Not to ask and to meet. Yes. How can we do that? As we talk in the moment together, we are all nodding our heads. And what is that? We meet us. And as we meet us, we in a common domain, and perhaps, and now again. And if this is a patient, the patient has the feeling, I believe, oh, my therapist is with me. I don't know that. No one was in my life with me. And then I see, yes, it was hard in your life. Yes, very hard. You had a hard life. And can we go a little bit together? Do you want that? Today, a little bit, one step. And he is all the time nodding with his head. We are together. Patient, as you were in this case, in this role play, in this little one, is often open to go with me. Yes. And you are all nodding your heads. I don't know if you know that. That's fine. I'm feeling my power of action is increasing for that. Yes, they are with me. Oh, isn't that fine? Oh, Grande is not with me again. but it's fine. You're doing other important things. Yes. And that's one thing we do. If Kirande would be a part of the patient, I would believe perhaps one, the NP or whatever, wants to do it. And do you also want to come with? I can talk to the other one. I don't know if that is that your an answer of your remark, but perhaps a little.
Yes, absolutely. Because you did not meet me on the level of thoughts or reflection. And I think that was very much in your tone of voice and in the calmness of your voice and the slow speed. And by that, I felt more like being touched than being understood on a reflective level. And that makes a huge difference, I think.
Yes. Yes. That is that we have to do. You know the sentence of Ellard, therapists often rush. We want to be fast. We want to go our way. And sometimes we lose our patience if we do that.
Yes, maybe also meaning that we are kind of in the future already, at least to some degree, because we might long for something that is not here already, and we try to strive to get it.
Yes.
but that it fits to what the patient actually longs for. And then also it includes the idea we can only act in the here and now.
Yes.
You still
Yes.
do it even if you long for something, but what you just said included also this idea that we actually can only act in the here and now.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And we have often in our mind, oh, we have to go a step. And you staying here and staying here and staying here, what happens? That would be a good question in us. What happens? www. You know that? It's right. www. Yes.
I don't really know what you mean.
You don't know what I mean?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I'm happy. I can say it.
Yes, please.
But that was the reason I thought in the moment, did I do that far? Not right. I saw your face and he's looking, oh. Yes. Yes, WWW means who makes what and why.
Right. I've heard that one before, but I hadn't, the short form I hadn't heard.
Yes, I'm sure you have heard it.
I'm going to write it down. I won't forget.
Yes, it is to ask to the dynamism, to the structure, to teleology. You are laughing
Really,
on
like your
me.
breaker.
It's because I must think of Ellert, because there are like 2 or 3 English words that even he struggles with from time to time. And so you are in very good company.
Okay, that's fine. Teleology, yes. You know, yes.
Teleology.
And the other difficult word is phenomenology. That's better. That is the thing with www. Do you know if we have to do with dissociative parts, the 1, 2, 3 rule? You know?
It has been covered once in the E-Academy, but I'm sure no one minds hearing it again.
Oh, I'm sure they all know that, and they work all the time with that. One is I and I therapist go to the INP. I am here and you am here. 2 is I am here and you, a little one, you are also here. 3 is you, ANP, can you say to the little one, you am here? And you, little one, can you say to the ANP, I've heard you? It's that to bring them together, to come from a third person perspective or a second person perspective in the direction of a quasi second perspective. And, you know, we want nothing, but altogether the goal is to get the first person perspective. They have more power of action if they can do that. And did it in the E-Academy, and I think second times Beethoven and Chopin. You remember that? You remember that? Yeah, yes, you do. You do. Do you? I changed. And what is the feeling if I do this? Yes. Yes? Do you feel what is other for you? What is different for you?
Well, when you lower your voice, it amplifies my feelings actually.
Yeah.
I tune more into myself, so to speak. And on the other hand, when you raise your voice, you don't really raise your voice, but when it gets higher a bit, then it's actually also on a physical level, as if I would get higher in here as well. Like if I would go up here and actually examine myself more, but in a more in a way that I think about it and really ask myself,
Yes.
is it?
Yes. And we can see that. We can see if I say yes, we are going also with our eyes a little bit lower. Yes, we go more up.
It's interesting when you say the first, yes, I almost feel like being pulled down in a good way, as if something was hanging on my chin, pulling, or on my nose and pulling it down.
Yeah, it was comforting. Like,
Yeah.
that's, I had the same, even though I'm only listening half ear.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And we can play with that. You can do that. It's for the patient so fine to feel that. Again, the therapist is with me, only with his voice. I feel it. And as he go up, or she up with her voice, that's a question. Sometimes we want to do that. Patient should go the next step. Yes, then we do that. Or patient says things about himself or herself. We don't want that it gets deeper. I'm a crazy one. I know, imagine the therapist says, you're crazy one. Do you? We want that. No, I don't believe it. Crazy one? I wonder, why do you think that about you? I wonder, crazy one, if we are going as a little baby on the world, we don't think such things, huh? We don't believe such things. Did you? No, I don't think. Who, I wonder, has said such things? And then I do a lot of things with that, what I said. I'm going, hi, I'm asking. No, that couldn't be. I ask, that isn't that what I think. And then I go also back. I wonder, ich frage mich, yeah, I ask, yeah, I wonder if it is like this. Patients has the possibility to go with or not to go with alternatives. Perhaps patient says, no, I was born with that. My parents thought that of me. My mother thought that of me as I was in her, as she was pregnant. Oh, we don't, at that moment, we know a lot of her life, do we? And as I say, do we? What is that? Do I create a yasset? Yes, I did, I think. You are all nodding your heads.
At least it invites a reaction.
Yes.
And I think it more, maybe it, in a sense, it can create even more relationship then, because it invites the patient, yeah, well, as I said, to react, and that gives you the opportunity to react yourself again.
Absolutely, yes. And now let me say something about what I see in the present moment. I hope you allow me to say that. Sina is laughing a little bit. Yes, it's nice what he is. I'm with you. Very, very nice. Maike was thinking, it's interesting. She's open. Moon also. Very interested. She's nodding her head. She is smiling. Very nice. And Oliver also is very open. Oh, Ingrid, you make it good. As my friend. Yes, he helps. And we can see that. We can see that in every moment. Did you see also things? Things. Oh, now, in the present moment. What can you see in my eyes? What can you see in the eyes of the other ones here? We are almost all more in our head. That can we also see. We are not so much in our feelings. Yes, and it's right. It's the right situation to do that. Yeah. So, what do you want now? I talked about our face expression, of our eyes, of our Blick.
Gaze.
Gaze. Where do we look? Our tone of voice. I did say not so much about body expression and posture because we have so small icons here. But a little bit we can see. I'm very concentrated and go forth. Oh, I like this. Ingrid? feel like this. And I have to remember. What do you know about symbols?
Sorry, I didn't hear. Symbols or signals?
Symbols.
Symbols, right. Sorry.
Language, so to that, is a symbol. It isn't that if I say, you know, that tree, that it is a tree. That's a symbol of a tree, and we have, I think, very different images in us if I say tree. And so we are in symbols on the way with patience. And therefore we have to go their way. We have to go with their words. Not to say new words. Because we don't know exactly what they mean. If we step into a word, perhaps we feel that what they mean. But it is more better if we are taking their words. And Oliver, you started with the quote from Thomas Fuchs, how to do that, not to ask questions. A little thing would be, I wonder. And then we can do our question in this. I wonder if, how do you feel today? I don't know. I wonder.
And I think it's amazing how different that is. When we say it ourselves in therapy, for example, I think we can really feel that it shows interest when you say, I wonder. And it's much more really this feeling of third person perspective exploration when we ask a question directly.
Yes.
I think that's really amazing, and it's worth a try.
Yes. Yes, it is an important word in our vocabulary. Yes. If we deal with our patients. I wonder. And it's also important how we say that. We can wonder a lot. And the patient have the possibility to go with us or to not to go with us. They have more alternatives. As if we asked that question. Do you want to stop now? Or I wonder if you want to stop now. But you feel the difference? Yes. And perhaps as we are this small group and we have done great work together, we can stop a few minutes earlier. What do you think? It's a suggestion. And it's at the same time a question you can answer like this or that.
Well, you know me, sometimes I have to say something. I cannot keep my mouth shut sometimes, but I found it so important that I would like to point that out, and then I would be okay with going out where it's much cooler than in my office, because look at me. You did not only ask questions indirectly by saying, I wonder, but when you gave your examples and demonstrations here, you already made indirect suggestions.
Yes.
Like when you said, wouldn't it be nice to have a few answers to these questions at the end? It's also the suggestion, but it's not a demand. You don't say, work hard so that you have answers, but you say indirectly, it could be an idea to keep to be focused and to try to find answers.
Yes. And I'm very happy that you don't shut your mouth.
Shall I say something more? That was just a joke.
Don't push your luck.
Okay.
And I just want to say that it also feels like a rope between of us that connects us. It's a embodied feeling if you do this.
Yes.
I wonder. Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's also the tone of voice. It's also. I can be aggressive if I say, I wonder. It's also something who could go into. Yeah, but that we don't want to do. I wonder that it is very hot today, and I want to go to swim. And you? What do you want? I'm very happy with you, and thank you so much that you were here and did all that things with me.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
you.
Very valuable.
Bravo.
Thank you, Ingrid.
Mhm.